Hi there folks, hope you're all doing well. Here we are at Snetterton and we're in iRacing and I'm in the Toyota GR86. I'm going to take it out for a drive. This video is a bit of a follow-up video to one I recently made discussing iRacing's new wet tyres. And first of all, I'll just mention I did want to get this video out a lot sooner because it's been, I think now maybe a week since I made that video, but there's been music events, personal things to attend to, and I was ill for a week. I'm still not quite over it, but much better than I was. But anyway, in that video I said that I was really enjoying iRacing's new wet tyres, and with some pretty rough testing I was finding that I like the feel of iRacing's new wet tyres in the dry better than I like the feel of iRacing's dry tyres in the dry. And I also said that iRacing's new wet tyres actually seem to be the same speed, if not faster, than the dry tyres, even in dry conditions. In this video, I'm going to tell you that I was wrong about that, and also I'm really happy that I was wrong, and I'm going to tell you why. But also, before I go any further, I want to thank all of you guys out there, because I've had a hell of a lot of responses to that video, both on the YouTube channel and on Reddit and places where I've posted it, and so many responses and a lot of advice actually, and I'm really happy that I was wrong, because it turns out iRacing's new wet tyres are not faster than the dry tyres in the dry. So for all of you that were saying, well actually you're wrong, you were right. Now I think what was happening, the reason I was finding that, I was doing pretty rubbish lap times around here at Snetterton, although I thought they were reasonably decent, but I'm not that experienced in iRacing. I was doing somewhere in the 212s and 211s, and I think the reason that I thought that iRacing's new wet tyres were actually as fast as the dry tyres is because I just wasn't driving them like I wasn't driving the dry tyres like they should be driven. A lot of people, or a lot of you out there, said that I was under-driving the dries. And I think the reason is because the day when I made that video I was having so much fun with the way the wet tyres felt, and the fact that you could actually drive more over the limit than I'm used to you being able to in iRacing, because iRacing's tyre physics, or at least their dry tyre physics, do have that very sharp fall-off rate that makes it quite hard to drive over the limit. And I was finding that I could do that with the wet tyres, and then when I went to do my laps in the dry tyres, I was trying to drive in the same way as I was doing on the wets, quite rough, quite aggressively, and all the trying to drive over the limit, which is I think why my dry times suffered. So I've now had time to do some proper testing, and there should be a screen come up in a minute, and it should be coming up now, and you'll see that I went out and did 5 laps on the dry tyres and 5 laps on the wet after some proper practice. Ignore the first and fifth laps on each test. It's the middle 3 that you want to look at. You'll see that I actually managed to get down into the 209s with the dry tyres, and when I tried to drive as fast but driving for the tyre on the dries, I was actually on the wets rather, I was actually a lot slower. I was doing 210s and 211s, and most of the laps were either 1.5 to nearly a full 2 seconds slower on the wet tyre in the dry, which is great because, and this is another reason I'm very happy, it would be a bit of a poor show if you could actually do the same lap times on the wet tyre, because then there'd be no point in changing them. And I also said that, so I was wrong about the times, but I did also say, and I'll maintain this, that on the wet tyre, the car feels more oversteery, but it tends to wear out the fronts quicker, whereas on the dry tyre, it feels a little bit more understeery, at least under power, but you tend to wear out the rears quicker. I also said that, you know, after about, I suppose, 10 to 12 laps, you could wear out the fronts, or on the wet tyres, and you could wear out the rears on the dry as well. That's because I was driving quite aggressively, as a lot of you guys pointed out, and thank you for all of your advice. I have taken it, and something's come of it, which you guys might be quite interested in. I did try a full race in the dry on the wet tyre, and I actually made I think it was a 20-minute race, or a 20-lap race, and on the wet tyre and the dry, I could keep up with the AI just fine. In fact, I did pretty well, but I did try and manage the tyres, and I was okay up until about the last 2 laps when they really started to wear down. I tried it in the dry, and the dry tyres, of course, lasted the whole race easily. So it does seem that the wets do wear out quicker than the dries in the dry, as you would expect. And I really do think that, you know, I just like the way the wet tyres feel in the dry, because they allow for more slip angle. I do find with iRacing's, or their old tyre or old dry tyre, that, you know, you have got that kind of iRacing auto spin or passenger slide, which I don't seem to get so much in other sims. I find maybe another reason that I drove so aggressively is because I'm used to sims where you can drive further over the limit, like R-Factor 2, something like that. But the other reason I want to thank you guys is it's helped improve my driving in iRacing on the dry tyre, to the point where apparently, according to iRacing, I am now a world champion. You see, a lot of you were saying, look, the reason you're getting such bad times on the dry tyres is you're driving too aggressively. Someone said, I think they actually owned a Toyota GR86, so you know, take some advice from them as an owner. And other people were saying, you're driving too aggressive, smooth out your inputs, brake less, get on the throttle quicker, stuff like that. And I have taken your advice, and it's really improved my times, because also someone else said that a good time, I think this was on Reddit, someone said this, a good time around here on the dry tyre should be a mid 205. And I looked at that and thought, what? I'm doing 211s. When I first tried, I was doing the 211s, you know, and 212s. I was like, 205? Are you kidding me? But, well, cut a long story short, today, well, I haven't been able to get into the time attack section of this sim, because after the last big update, there was a huge problem with time attack, because iRacing's anti-cheat software went a bit mad and would just completely freak out as soon as you tried to enter a time trial. Today, they released a patch which has fixed that, so I've been able to get into time trial, and I actually saw that the only time on the board for this car and track combo was whoever set that amazing time of the mid 205. And I got in today and I practiced, and cut a long story short, this happened. Okay, so after, you know, doing some proper thorough practice at Snatterton now on the dry tyre, it turns out out of the time attacks, it turns out I'm apparently a world champion. Wow, never earned that title before, with a time of 2:07.9. 0.765. That is on the dry tyre. And then after me, you know, you got about there's a 2085, 2088, 2094, and then it starts going up into the 10s down here. There's only 10 of us that have tried this time attack apparently in this car. But well done to Guglielmo Gary. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I don't. But Caligari there, if I'm pronouncing that right, he's nearly. I mean, I am trying my absolute hardest, you know, going into Zen space, you know, just thinking about speed, look through the corner, you know, carry the speed, and he's nearly 2 seconds faster than me. That is a millennium of time. I have no idea how he got that time, so well done to him. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm very happy with that result. There we go. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. It's given me iRacing is calling me a world champion, and I'm now second out of everyone that's tried that. I'm very pleased with my 207 point whatever it was. Very happy indeed, and my driving's improved. Obviously not so much now because I'm chatting to you guys whilst I'm driving. But yeah, well done to the person who's done a mid 205, because I have no idea. I mean, I'm second on the board and you are over 1.8 seconds faster than me. I know that I could probably find more time, but I'm talking about tenths of seconds. I can't see how you can get nearly 2 more seconds out of this car on this track. I really don't know. But I suppose some of the point of this video is thank you for the discussion, because I did leave the last video a bit open-ended. I said don't take my word for it, try it for yourself and see if you're faster on the wet tyre. I was wrong about the speed, but I just, there's something I really like about the way the wet tyre feels. And now that iRacing has got the Tempest weather system, which I will make a proper video on, I will do some racing in the wet, because I've been trying it out and it is absolutely fantastic. It really is. I really hope now that they will update their tyre model as well, because I really do feel that over the limit, especially when you get in the faster cars, that there is just a point where you go slightly over the limit, either on lift-off oversteer or under power, where if you get a little bit sideways, even if there's a chance of catching it, no, you're gone. You're gone. It's really quite hard to say, because I mean, in this car you could have a big sideways slide and actually save it, but if you're in a complete gradual slide, especially in things like the Cadillac CTS-V Racer, you can be going up the road at 10 miles an hour, turn a corner and blip the throttle just to kick the back end out just a little bit. And, you know, having driven a rear-wheel drive car before, I know you can kick the back end out and then come straight off the throttle and it'll re-grip again. In that car, you blip the throttle, the back end, if it comes out at all, it comes out all the way. It's like the car suddenly, it's like the back end of the car suddenly picks up the inertia of the entire Earth and just sort of auto spins, and you're facing the wrong way. So I'd love to see tyre updates. You might completely disagree with me. You might think iRacing's tyre model is perfect. I prefer things like R-Factor 2's tyre model. But in this, I will say, I really love the feel of iRacing's tyre model before you get to the limit. In that respect, I mean, there are a lot of things I really, really like about iRacing. Now I'm getting properly into it. In fact, I'll say this, if I didn't have my problems with the tyre model, I think this could end up being a go-to sim for me. Because there's some features of iRacing that I really enjoy that no other sim does as well as iRacing. And also, there are certain things about the feel of the driving up and to the limit that I really like as well. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'll cut this short now, and I will leave you with that 2:07 whatever it was lap time that I got. I recorded it, so you'll see the cockpit view and the replay cameras. And thank you very much. Let's have a bit more discussion about iRacing. It's tell me what you think in the comments, whatever it may be. Thank you to everyone that told me I'm wrong. Thank you to everyone that offered me advice on better driving. And yeah, it's made my day. I'll leave you with that lap now. All the best. Happy sim racing.